Okay, guys, so as a lot of people are entering the transfer portal, welcome in the Slaughterhouse Sports, Kurt Magoosh here. As a lot of people are entering the transfer portal, we're going to really shift focus how we often do it in December, and that is to recruiting. That is to checking in on recruiting videos. And today we're probably going to do maybe about 6 or 7 videos that I have teed up. These are recent commits that are probably going to make a difference where they are going. These are a lot of high-profile names in the scouting community. And this is 4-star quarterback from Pierre, South Dakota, which is, I'd say about maybe 2 hours north of Sioux Falls, South Dakota. So this is one of the most highly coveted South Dakota recruits in a really long time, and that is Lincoln Kienholz. And what Lincoln has done is he's won 3 straight state championships. This is a guy who's also a basketball player, the shortstop in baseball. He is the 3-sport athlete. He is the total leader, the total package, and he's a guy that is in charge and is really a leader of an entire community and has been for quite a long time. So his intangibles, just watching and listening to his interviews, are off the charts. You look at this guy and the way that he's built, he's built pretty broad for, a 6'3" guy. He's not the most thin guy, and he has no problem getting yards and bowling people over. So you see some mobility. You see how he can throw on the run, pretty effectively. He's a guy right here. He makes a solid throw across the middle of the field. So you're seeing some aspects of velocity. It's interesting. He's from South Dakota, so he is really, really coveted in the process. And at camps, he's done nothing but rise throughout the camp period. Here you see 3-step drop, bang, quick release. Good throwing motion as well. I would say a pretty dang good throwing motion. Pocket, collapses, and he throws and beats the coverage. Now, I will say this about Lincoln Kienholz. His arm strength is not that of kind of even lobs that ball up there. His arm strength is not that of the elite prospects. It's why he's not a 5-star quarterback, because he has all the intangibles, and then we talk about tangibles. He does have good speed, right? But I don't think this is a guy that's going to be a run-read option guy that's also going to be running. So he's a quarterback with movement skills, which is a prerequisite for the position. There he does a great job of sliding in the pocket. He's going to be a guy that's going to beat you from the pocket, but he has some athletic ability where he definitely can get outside of the pocket if the play hurts you. He is the right size to play quarterback. And I think that he's going to be an efficient quarterback. Now, how much numbers is he going to put up? I mean, you do look at quarterbacks like Drake May that are kind of in this build that also put up some big numbers. Here's the thing, too, about his drop back. He really has a classic drop back. He takes the snap, and then he shuffles back. He's a back shuffler, like a 90s quarterback. But I will say that when you shuffle back like that, your base and the way that you throw the football, your footwork can be pretty good. So there you see his footwork is good. I mean, it's a very, very, rigid throwing base. I will say that. I sometimes like it wider so you can create more torque. But, I mean, he has very strong footwork. There you see a little bit of, you see a throw, a little sidearm motion as well as he hits the underneath stuff. Plays pretty pro style. This is going to be a guy that's going to matriculate it down the field. This is going to be a guy that's going to have to rely on not making mistakes, not turning the ball over. And I think he could be effective in that capacity. You look at the way that Cade McNamara plays, I think it's kind of similar to this guy, but this guy's like a bigger quarterback. You look at Mike Glennon at NC State, but just put in, a bigger body that's a lot more physical. you might get Lincoln Kienholz. And this dude is just a winner. And the surprising part about Lincoln is that he can go almost anywhere in the country and maybe start as a true freshman and be a really solid college quarterback. And maybe at the end of it, be a mid-round quarterback. He's pretty similar to the guy from Iowa, J.J. Cole. He's just a little bit smaller. So at Washington, it's an interesting fit. I mean, Michael Penix has more physical traits probably than Lincoln, and that's not an insult to Lincoln. Michael Penix has some of the great physical traits. Lincoln is a much more consistent player at this age and is really, really consistent. So this is a quarterback that you get in the quarterback room at Ohio State. And he's a quarterback that can function if he needed to go in as an 18, 19-year-old. He can function and move the offense. Now, I do think Devin Brown is one of the most special quarterbacks in the country. I do believe that Devin Brown is going to start for 2 years, and if Devin Brown does not get injured, Devin Brown's going to be a top 5 pick in the 2025 draft. That's just what I believe. I believe him and Drew Aller have the ability to have an incredible rivalry in the Big Ten. I really do. But you look at this, and this is good arm strength. It really is. And that's what's exciting is that maybe you get even more receiver talent at Ohio State, and maybe just these type of plays. This is what I like. A little bit of a wider base. We're actually throwing the ball down the field. We're throwing it with really good touch. That's a really impressive throw. So the more you watch it, the more you sink your teeth into it, that this guy's just a great football player, tremendous kid, tremendous person, a guy that's going to lead your football team, and he's going to give you a chance to win a lot of games. Now, is he going to be a superstar like Ohio State's had a quarterback? That is the question. Is he going to be McCord? Is it going to be Quinn Ewers? Is he going to see the field? Because I believe that Devin Brown has the most elite arm strength, maybe in the whole country. Just a twitchier athlete. This kid is a little bit taller. So Brock Glenn, I think that Ohio State knows that Devin Brown is the favorite, and they want a solid number 2 quarterback. Brock Glenn also has a lot of skill. Brock Glenn's a little like Jared Goff. Brock Glenn can be really, really good. Now, this throw, sometimes he just lobs it up there, and that's good touch. But sometimes I want to see you drive it. I want to see him drive it in the tight windows. But, man, if Drake May can be really successful, like this kid plays like Drake May. He does, because Drake May doesn't have the biggest arm either. He doesn't. So this kid is a really good quarterback. He's playing at Ohio State. He was committed to Washington. I mean, Washington was a natural fit because Kalen DeBoer is from South Dakota. So it's very interesting why Lincoln Kienholz didn't commit to South Dakota. Not to South Dakota, to Washington. Michael Penix coming back for 1 year. I think if Penix might have not come back, that might even be more enticing because then you would get to start at a Pac-12 school. But let's face it for Lincoln, right? He goes to Ohio State. He gets to see what it's like to play against NFL cornerbacks, and he gets to see what it's like to throw to NFL wide receivers. Okay? He gets that ability. He really sees the speed of the Big Ten Conference. He sees the speed of up close of Penn State, of Michigan. He's around Brian Hartline, who's one of the best coaches in the business. He's around, I would say, as an offensive coordinator, a top 3 offensive coordinator in all football in Ryan Day right now. He gets to see that up and close. He gets to be a part of the quarterback room, gets to be a part of those facilities. At Washington, even though they had a tremendous year, even though he is tight with Kalen DeBoer, at Washington, you're still playing in the Pac-12. There's a lot of uncertainty around where is the Pac-12 going to be in several years. And you look at Lincoln right now, and here's the thing about him, is that you can go to Ohio State there might be more NIL opportunity than Washington. There just is. There's more money that's put into Ohio State than Washington, and I'm just speculating here. None of this has actually been said by Lincoln, and that deserves actually to be kept private, but I'm trying to actually articulate why I think he chose Ohio State, because you get to be a part of a quarterback competition where Devin Brown, as high as I think of him, and he was a 5-star quarterback from Draper, Utah, Devin Brown is not guaranteed anything. He hasn't played a snap at Ohio State in a regular season game, not that I know of. So it's going to be open competition, quote unquote. Now, Kienholz is going to have to beat him badly in the open competition, but Kienholz also gets to throw to Marvin Harrison. He gets to see the speed. He gets to improve as a quarterback, working with Corey Dennis and working with Ryan Day. So that's why he's doing it. And then guess what he does in a year? In a year, he can put himself into the portal, right? Say Devin Brown has a huge year. You put yourself into the portal, and then it's a bidding war. And then you get to decide after this year of development, are you going to back up? The quarterback Devin Brown, if Devin Brown's really, really good? Or are you then going to be so sought after with NIL gifts and with the potential to handpick your offensive coordinator? I know that you're not putting any film on out there, but you're making all these relationships anyway. And then say that Michael Penix has another tremendous year. Why wouldn't Kalen DeBoer go back to Lincoln Kienholz? And why wouldn't Lincoln then go right to Washington and start playing after getting a year of maybe more NIL opportunity and more training reps? Because this late in the game for freshman quarterbacks, for great freshmen, it's so hard to start at quarterback when you're battling the transfer portal as it is. So he was committed to Washington for a while. Penix was unbelievable, where Penix was a question mark. And he's analyzing and saying, hey, now Penix is coming back to school. I won't get to play immediately. And then Ryan Day's interested in you in Ohio State, and that is just so hard to pass up. So will he be the quarterback at Ohio State? Is he going to compete with Devin Brown? Is he going to see the field? My prediction is this guy's going to be a good quarterback in college football wherever he goes. Okay, if he stays healthy, he has the size, he has the movement skills, he has the arm and accuracy to be a really productive quarterback. Is he going to be superstar Heisman guy putting up those numbers? I don't know if that's his style. I think he's more of a matriculated down the field. He's perfect in a pro-style offense. He would be great at Michigan with a strong running game, go play action. He would honestly be Iowa's dream quarterback because you can utilize him in the run game, go play action. He's exactly like, right now, Will Howard as a junior is what this kid is as a freshman. You know, that's the style that I think he can be. So it's very interesting what is going to happen with Lincoln's career. I could see him, honestly, transferring to Kansas State. I think that it's a perfect fit for him, or Washington after this year, but getting a great year at Ohio State. NIL, a great chance to be a part of a special quarterback room, to be around the best coaches in college football. And Ohio State's getting one. They're getting a good quarterback that they're adding to this room.